Here comes the snow. The Triad is bracing for winter weather.
Tonight we are getting you prepared.
And those totals, they could vary a lot across North Carolina. Who could get the most and who gets the least?
So we actually got some snowfall this year.
I was going to get upset if there wasn't snow.
These snow lovers in the Triad made their own, how they did it, and their thoughts on getting the real stuff this time.
You are stocking up on supplies, but what do you really need?
Batteries, flashlights, hurricane oil lamps.
We go store to store to find out.
Plus, hear from a delivery driver who survived a scary 75-foot fall. WFMY News 2 at 11 starts right now. Get ready for some snow. It has been a while. You probably remember our last storm, 13 inches in December 2018. It's been more than 400 days since then.
City crews are preparing, schools are dismissing early, and we are keeping you informed. Our chief meteorologist, Tim Buckley, joins us live now. And Tim, you could say this is the calm before the winter storm.
Yeah, it is. And, you know, it's funny, we look back to that last storm. That was a ton of snow back in December of 2018. Not going to be quite that much this time, but hey, that's not saying much. That was one of our biggest in a long while. Still keeping my snow meter right there in the likely category. The likely category heading into tomorrow, meaning it's very likely that you will see snow tomorrow in the Triad. All of us have winter weather advisories. Earlier today, it was only a chunk of us. Now this has been expanded to really cover pretty much most of North Carolina, except for the far southern counties. So all of us expecting some winter weather, and that is generally along the line with our thinking that we'll see a couple of inches in many of the Triad cities. Clouds are with us now, but the moisture is not yet, and this is going to be what we watch and track for you tomorrow. This moisture down here is trying to head our way at the same time that cold air is in the process of locking in. So as we watch the radar tomorrow, the arrival of snow at the earliest would be late morning, early afternoon. I think the middle of the afternoon and early evening is the most likely time for you to see some snow. Now, a couple things I'll be watching. Is there any mixing with sleet south of Asheboro? That's always a possibility. That could limit totals there. And is there too much dry air in the foothills for you to rack up on the snow? I think the best chance to see higher totals is farther to the east of Greensboro. Bottom line, dry morning, snow starts early afternoon, could be heavy at times late in the afternoon for the evening commute, and that's when slick roads could start to become an issue. No matter how much falls, this is a problem. Snowy, icy roads Friday morning with a refreeze. We'll talk about that latest snow map coming up.
When you take snow pictures tomorrow, share them with us. Just text the photo and location to 336-379-5775 and we'll get them directly. You can also use the hashtag #SnowOn2 on social media.
Triad cities and counties are preparing to keep the roads clear. The DOT has about 7,000 tons of salt stored in Guilford County. Forsyth County has about 10,000 tons. Dozens of trucks loaded up with salt today. DOT crews say they won't use brine because rain is expected and could wash away the brine. They are watching the conditions and plan to work in 12-hour shifts until the storm passes.
We pretty much work continuously throughout the storm, so when it comes in, we pretty much don't go home until after the storm's over.
Triad cities said they spent the day checking their equipment and gassing up their vehicles. They also say their workers are prepared to work 12-hour shifts.
There's a lot you can do to prepare for winter weather. We're focused on 3 areas tonight, starting with the roads.
Also, necessary supplies and foods that you should have. WFMY News 2's Marissa Tanzino breaks down what you really need to have when the snowstorm hits.
McKnight Hardware. Stocked up and ready for the snow.
This has been a mild season, so we didn't stock up like we normally do, but we've got an adequate supply.
Here's what you should have at home to get prepared. Get a shovel if you don't already have one, and get some ice melt for your driveway. Make sure to get a pet-friendly version if you have a dog or a cat.
Thank you.
Now for your car, grab some de-icer for your windshield, and a snow brush scraper combo is a must for a snowy forecast.
We have not had a lot of calls, but I imagine the way it'll get forecasted tonight, the phone will probably be ringing when we get here tomorrow morning.
Once you leave the hardware store, go to the grocery store for things that won't go bad if you lose power, like peanut butter, soup, bottled water, cereal, and bread. Finally, only drive if you absolutely have to.
It takes a lot more patience, and of course you have to go slower. And
Hold on, stop. I know what you're thinking. Slow down, pay attention. You hear it all the time, but we can't say it enough because it's so important. So really,
just pay more attention.
Brandon Ruck with All Over Towing says his trucks will be spread out to quickly get to anyone who needs help. He's hoping drivers will take it slow.
If you start sliding, do not slam on your brakes. Try not to do any emergency like swift cornering, jerking the wheel hard, just anticipating things much further.
One last reminder, make sure you have phone numbers for insurance, towing, and the heat company on hand, just in case.
After more than 400 days without snow, winter weather lovers, they have been restless.
So one Greensboro family decided to make their own. You have to check this out. They built a snow machine right in their backyard so the kids could go sledding.
WFMY News 2's Alma McCarty spoke to the family tonight, excited for the real thing.
A winter without snow wasn't going to cut it for Matt Lopina.
It was kind of a grim outlook because we hadn't seen any snow all winter.
He longed for a change, but months ticked by and nothing. So he took matters into his own hands.
Went online, found some plans, and made this little device here that made it happen for us.
Last weekend, his snow machine created a winter wonderland in his Greensboro backyard for his daughters Noelle and Lucy.
I was very happy to know that he was making snow.
A downhill slope made for a few great runs on the sled.
I went in the woods and that was so exciting.
Using a pressure washer, air compressor, plus everyday parts from the hardware store, Matt made it happen in a matter of hours.
It's really just from here to here. It's this little bar, and there's 3 nozzles that shoot water out because I've got my pressure washer hooked in here. Down here is the air compressor, and a little bit of water drips in here and comes out like a fine mist. But when it's 27 degrees, that mist freezes.
The Lopinas are looking forward to the snow in the forecast.
But maybe get a little bit more coverage so we can sled even further.
But should Mother Nature disappoint, you can guarantee you'll find snow at the Lopina house.
Now, Matt credits the internet for giving him the plans for this device. He says the most expensive parts, of course, were the pressure washer and the air compressor. But if you've already got those, you're not far off from making your own snowmaker.
Some families in Greensboro are stuck without power tonight as a snowstorm heads our way. On top of that, frigid weather is certainly a concern.
Everybody's lights got cut off. Nobody was aware or informed that the lights was going to get cut off.
Monica Fields-Baum lives in an apartment complex off Summit Avenue. She and several others say they're in a United Youth Care treatment program. They say the program rented out several units at their complex, but it failed to pay the power bill.
We need heat is in this point right now, and we need a place to stay. Because right now we're all stuck in between the rock and the hard place.
We reached out to United Youth Care and haven't heard anything back. Duke Energy sent us a statement just moments ago. A rep says this is an account issue, not an issue with service. We require customer accounts to remain in good standing, and we work with customers to keep their accounts current. We do everything we can to avoid shutting off power, but if they do go delinquent, we can disconnect service. Duke Energy also tells us some of those units did get power back tonight. They did not say how many.
We will have full coverage of tomorrow's winter weather on air and online. You can get the latest updates on our free app. New at 11, Triad deputies bust one of the largest marijuana growing operations they say they have ever seen. Take a look at these photos. Davie County deputies busted the operation in Mocksville. More than 700 marijuana plants weighing about 127 pounds total. Deputies say they found the plants in a house with sophisticated growing and processing methods. We're talking about timers, lights, fans, and ventilation systems. They arrested this man in the house, 58-year-old Michael Schaffner. He now faces felony charges.
Hard to forget and hard to look away from this crazy video of a KFC exploding. This was last summer in Eden. The franchise owners say they're ready to reopen. Take a look at it now. The building is back up and it is nearly ready to start serving customers again. The franchise started taking applications last month for job openings and they're still hiring. They told us the KFC should open in mid-March.
Downtown Greensboro's newest high-rise is coming together. Take a look at this bird's eye view over First National Bank Field. The brick is on the building and now crews are installing the HVAC system. You'll notice a dirt lot across the street. That is going to be the parking deck. Crews started working on that as well.
A Davidson County company is looking to fill 125 new jobs. Wood manufacturer Egger is expanding in Linwood. The company is hosting a job fair on Saturday from 10 to 2. They're looking for forklift drivers, technicians, and machine operators. We have more details on our website. In Winston-Salem, several businesses will also be filling job openings. Tomorrow, Spectrum, Ashley Furniture, and others will look to hire 500 people. They'll be at the Career Center of the Carolinas Job Fair at the Joel Coliseum from 10 to 2.
Cone health officials say do not be alarmed if you see a lot of ambulances on the move in Greensboro this weekend. On Sunday, patients will be moved to the new Cone Health Women's and Children's Center at Moses Cone. Hospital leaders have been practicing this move for months. The move starts at 5:30 early Sunday morning. The $100 million facility opens to everyone later on that day.
Flags will fly at half-staff for the rest of the week to honor a state lawmaker who recently passed away. House Representative Linda Johnson died yesterday. She wasn't planning to seek re-election. Cabarrus County voters first elected her to the House in 2001. Speaker Tim Moore described Johnson as an infectious spirit and a powerful voice for public schools. She'll be laid to rest this weekend in Kannapolis. Johnson was 74 years old.
After a visit to the Triad last week, Mike Bloomberg is coming back to North Carolina for his presidential campaign. He's headlining the Blue North Carolina celebration in Charlotte. The event is Saturday, February 29th at the Hilton Charlotte University Place. The trip will mark his 4th visit to our state since announcing his candidacy. Bloomberg made his first debate visit on the debate stage tonight. He went head-to-head with other Democratic candidates in Las Vegas tonight. Many of them doing their best to take down the newcomer.
Democrats take a huge risk if we just substitute one arrogant billionaire for another.
We shouldn't have to choose between one candidate who wants to burn this party down and another candidate who wants to buy this party out.
Bloomberg took the criticism over his wealth in stride. He says he will release his tax returns.
It tells everybody everything they need to know about every investments that I make and where the money goes. And the biggest item is all the money I give away.
Bloomberg has already spent $415 million of his own money on advertising. At least one poll has him in second with 19%, just behind Senator Bernie Sanders.
It's a wonderful ending to what started as an absolute nightmare. Ryan Newman walked out of the hospital today, 2 days after that horrific crash at the end of the Daytona 500. A miraculous recovery, Luke.
Yeah, Chad, it really is incredible. This was the scene at the Halifax Medical Center earlier today. Ryan Newman standing and taking a picture with his 2 daughters after a crash that looked to be catastrophic. You look back at the wreck itself, you'd likely wonder how could anyone survive that or at least not suffer life-threatening injuries. But just 48 hours after being admitted into the hospital, he was released and will continue his recovery at home with his family. Now, as you'd expect, Newman will not be getting back in the car this week or anytime soon, and Roush Fenway Racing says there is still no timetable for his return. But the main takeaway here is that Newman is alive and on his way to a full recovery.
Another incredible story of survival tonight.
A North Carolina man fell 75 feet off of a highway bridge.
It's entirely miraculous. We would not anticipate that the outcome from such a fall would be so positive.
What led to the miracle off I-85? Next.